So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend and until recently, super middleweight contender John Ryder. John, how you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. I'm good, enjoying retired life. Just adjusting.
Yeah, it's been a little while now since you decided to hang up the gloves. We didn't talk on that week in particular, so you've probably been asked a lot of these questions before. But what was it that finally convinced you it was time to walk away from the sport?
Having to get up off my bum 4 times, I think. No, listen, I think this was always, I think around this age for me was always going to be the cut-off point. Obviously thought I had a lot more left than I actually did, and I think the Canelo fight took a lot out of me. And the Munguia fight was just a step too far.
Did you get any idea in camp that maybe it was starting to go a bit?
No, not really. I camp started off well, then we moved to the States in early January, and listen, it was hard to adjust, but we was all finding it hard to adjust to the time zone. The gym's hot out there; it's tough to get used to, and just you put it down to just the camp just getting to you and just being tired and being every bit of 35 I am. So just put it down to that. But yeah, I think in the ring, listen, take nothing away from Gear, he was good that night. He made the necessary changes. I didn't think he'd be as good as he was, and he was very, very good.
So what convinced you that it was time to go rather than just a bad night at the office?
You can put Canelo down to a bad night at the office, like things not going right. You can't have two of them in a row. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to go out at a level I've been operating at, and I was lucky enough to get the Munguia fight after the Canelo defeat, and that was keeping me at that level that I've been operating at. And for me now, it doesn't make sense to be dropping down levels and be getting beaten up.
Did you have it in your head, if this fight doesn't go my way, it will be time to go? Or was it after the fight, it just kind of came to you straight away, right, now's the time to go?
No, listen, in the build-up, it was win, lose or draw. Again, it was as fight week was getting closer, it was like this could be it, win, lose or draw.
Wow.
So yeah, it was it's tough being away from home, obviously young family, missed them. It's a kind of something not many people admit up to, but it's tough being away from your family, especially over the Christmas period in the gym sparring Christmas Day. But listen, we do that. It's the ultimate sacrifice in this sport.
How hard is it for you, who's grown up in the sport, to have come so close to a world title and then have to retire having not finally won it?
Listen, I think boxing's one of them sports where people are never but truly satisfied. I was with Joe Cordina in Dubai last week, and he's obviously a two-time world champion, and he wants what I've had, the big fights, and I haven't wanted what he got, the world titles. But listen, I've been lucky enough to fight for 2 interim world titles and win both of them. Fought for the world title on 2 occasions. One I was unfortunate, and the other one I lost to a pound for pound great.
Is it a bit of a comfort, the unfortunate one? Obviously, it was horrendous at the time when the decision went against you, against Callum Smith. But now you've retired. Is it a bit of a comfort? Because you can always say to yourself, look, I should have been a world champion that night. Most people think that.
It isn't, because I mean, you can get down the line and it can be the thing you go back to, and I suppose fill yourself with dread and just really eat up at you. But I'm past it now. I'm satisfied with what I went on to go and do and win another interim world title and put myself in line for Canelo. Yeah.
Do you feel you got absolutely everything you could out of the potential you had at the start?
Yeah, I feel like I got more out of boxing than boxing got out of me. I think that's always the worry with boxing. You can stay involved too long, and boxing ultimately does end up taking more from you. But I feel like I've had great people around me. End of my career, I had the best team around me possibly, with Tony, Dan, Charlie, Sam doing all the massage, the chiropractic stuff, and even Paddy with the PR stuff, and it was just a great team.
The plan, from what I heard at the time when you retired, was to help Tony out in the gym and stuff. Is that still the case?
That's still the case, yeah. I've been in my first week back this week. I've done 2 days solid, and I'm enjoying it. Bit of pads, from the training side, it's nice. It's not eating up my whole day. I'm able to. I was away last week with my family. And it was nice just to be present in the holiday and not worried about what's next and just enjoy my time.
Ultimately, we saw Kevin Mitchell do this. Are you going to be training out of that gym and eventually have your own stable of fighters?
Listen, at the moment it's time to assist Tony and learn from him and pick his brains and go from there. But I mean, I've got no real plans to go and open my own gym and whatnot. But I'm happy where I am at the moment and happy to learn on the job.
And what else will you be spending the majority of your time doing? Obviously, you have time with your family and helping Tony. But what are the other projects? What else you got on the agenda?
Burping and fighting.
Mate, have you not done that for the last 20 years then?
Getting
Holding
fat
it
as
all in.
fuck. Yeah, no. No, just keep busy. Obviously enjoy family time. Might start playing a bit more golf because I'm always missing out on these golf days with the boys and they're playing golf after training. So I might start a bit, going to the driving range and practicing a bit and honing my skills.
Good stuff. Any kind of ambitions outside of boxing, like stuff that you've never been able to do because you've been in the sport?
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting a boxing channel to blast you out of the water.
What are you going to call it?
I don't know. Seconds best or something.
Second best.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Yeah.
How
Not
could you
really,
go
not really
wrong?
got off the ground, is it?
You've waved the white flag already.
That's it.
Did want to talk to you as well. We saw recently Canelo, your old friend, old foe, whichever way you want to look at it. He's left apparently PBC once again to rejoin with another friend of yours in Eddie Hearn. Well, what did you make of all that? You know, he signed a 3-fight deal. He's had one fight with them, and they've come back again apparently.
It's obviously happy for Eddie, happy for Canelo. Makes good sense. It's a shame it's not worked out at PBC and the fights haven't materialised. But yeah, I think they had a good work relationship, and I'm glad to see it continue.
Do you think there's anyone out there that beats Canelo at super middleweight?
I thought it might have been Benavidez.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Benavidez. Yeah, I thought it might have been Benavidez. But obviously, they're talking about him moving up to 175 now. And I think that's smart. I think he can compete with the likes of Bivol and Beterbiev. I think there'll be great fights. Imagine him against Beterbiev. That'll be an absolute shootout. I don't think he's got the best out of himself for a period of years now, making the 168 limit. So I think you're going to see a real Mexican monster at 175 now.
And talking of Mexican monsters, it's widely speculated that Canelo will take his famous May the 4th date, Cinco de Mayo, against Jaime Munguia, apologies.
Jaime, yep.
Yeah, good old Jaime. And you know both of them very well. You fought both of them in recent times. How do you kind of weigh that one up?
I think it's a Canelo win for me. I don't think it'd be an easy fight. But I think it's a fight Canelo can win pretty handily. I don't know if he'll get him out of there, but Munguia's tough. He's got a good chin. He's fit and he throws a lot of shots, but I think Canelo's that bit too smart. They'll just come down to the miles on the clock for Canelo, I believe.
Do you think it's come too early potentially for Munguia, or do you think even at his potential, if he reaches it, he still wouldn't beat Canelo?
Listen, he's 43 fights in there. I mean, how much more does he need to do? I think Canelo's just a one-off. Obviously not a one-off, but he's one of a kind. He's in a league of his own, and I think he'll get the bit between his teeth for this fight. And it's a great fight for Mexico.
Other names that have been mentioned for Canelo potentially in September, you've got Edgar Berlanga, Chris Eubank Jr. at one point, Terence Crawford, of course, coming up from welterweight. Do you see any of them or anyone else out there I haven't mentioned giving Canelo a test at 168?
Probably the best out of them for the test. Obviously, the weight difference in him and Terence Crawford is ridiculous, and there's no. I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. I think Eubank could have moments. I think he's ultimately probably too small as well. Never was a big 168 fighter. And I think Berlanga is a big fight for the Puerto Rican-Mexican connection. I'm sure that'll do well. But, I mean, it's a good performance from Berlanga the weekend, but not on the level of Canelo.
So if Canelo stays at 168, in your view, does he only lose when he gets old?
I think it's just it's just what he's got left in the tank, and I think he seems to think he's got another 5 years left in him. So he knows better than the rest of us. But I think you don't know until it's too late often in boxing, and I found out that way.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Talking of Canelo, was he the best you fought in your career?
Um, yeah, I'd say he is. Yeah, I mean, I thought Billy Joe was technically so naturally gifted. Danny Jacobs, they're all world class opposition operators. Canelo was there. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't achieve what he's achieved in the sport by luck. He's worked hard, he's grafted hard, and he's done things the hard way at times. He's took his knots and come out from defeat, and he is where he is for a reason.
Who hit the hardest?
Sergei Kamitsky.
Wow. Okay.
That geezer called Whack.
Fair enough.
What was I'm sure there's a few Brits can vouch for that as well.
Yeah,
I felt his power, and yeah, he can really whack. Yeah.
What was your proudest moment?
Proudest moment, winning in Vegas was good. But listen, getting up and fighting on against Canelo and walking out that ring in front of all the Mexicans cheering for me was a great feeling as well.
And aside from the Callum Smith decision, because you had no influence on that, any regrets?
No. Listen, like I said, I got more from boxing than he got from me. I've met some of the best people in boxing and some real lifelong friends. Yes. You know what I mean? Fill your ego up. Yeah, I met some of the best people. I can go up and down the country. I can go around the world and speak to people from what I've met in boxing and arrange to meet them and be shown around. So I'm fortunate in that way. But yeah, it's been a great experience.
Now you have retired, would you like to do more? Obviously, you were joking, I hope, about setting up another video channel, but would you like to do more TV stuff like punditry and that kind of thing?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like to become, I'd like Eddie to sack Frank Smith and become his number 2.
You good at making tea?
I don't know. Nance, am I good at making tea? Am I good at making tea? No, useless.
Silence says it all.
I'm very good at ordering on delivery though.
Yeah, just don't insult any builders and you've got a shot here. Yeah. Good on you. No, but seriously, would you like to do that for like Sky or the Zone or whoever? Because you've got a good eye for the game, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done a bit of the commentary for the Next Gen show the other day on the early before the bell fights, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
So just like a fighter, you've got to progress now from beyond the bell to, you know, the undercard of the main TV show and then eventually main events.
That's it, mate. And we've gone from the old Box Station studio doing the old appearance of Miranda Carr, aren't we, on internet TV? So yeah,
mate,
stepping stones, mate. Baby steps.
Was it Sports Tonight Live? Was that what it was called?
Oh, mate, I can't remember. It was a long time ago, wasn't
it? It was a long time ago. I had dark hair then.
Oh yeah.
Ish. Mate, yeah, really appreciate it. Not just today, but just covering your career generally. It's been an absolute pleasure. Boxing News, obviously, originally, and now at Seconds Out. Never a dull moment. Bit of banter as well. Loved it.
That's it, mate. Yep.
No, much appreciated.
No, thank you, mate. Up the flex pest.
I'm glad you brought us back down to earth there. It was getting a bit too emotional, yeah.
I know, he's getting a bit emotional, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was tearing up. Not anymore. Appreciate it, mate. And yeah, let's keep in touch.
No, definitely. Cheers, mate.